Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Talk Evil to Me. I am your host, Katie.
And I'm your host, Tim.
We are so happy that you're here. We have stayed out of the United States for a little while, so I want to go to Wisconsin now. Okay? How much do you know about this?
Cheese curds.
Not about Wisconsin, about the case.
Really nothing.
Okay, well, you're going to learn today.
You're going to
learn. Monday, February 21st, 2022, around 9:30 p.m., Taylor Schabusiness pulled up to the residence of Tara Packenick at 829 Stony Brook Lane to pick up her friend and ex-boyfriend, Shad Thyrion. With her was their other friend, AJ. The three of them went to a well-known spot in town to buy some drugs. Schabusiness said that she actually was not the one who bought the drugs. She just supplied them with the money. So Shad and AJ went inside and she waited outside in the van while they did whatever they had to do and came back. After they got the drugs, they went back to Taylor's apartment on Eastman Avenue. So at this apartment, Taylor, AJ, and Shad. Shad. S-H-A-D. His full name is Shad Thyrion. Yeah. Her last name is really what gets me. Schabusiness.
Yeah.
Schabusiness.
Like, mind your Schabusiness.
Mind your Schabusiness. Mind your dogs.
It's like clockwork.
So anyway, they went back to her apartment. So Taylor, AJ, and Shad all decided to smoke pot while they were inside of this apartment. AJ left. And then it was just Taylor and Shad. And after AJ had left, they had smoked methamphetamine and they had injected themselves with trazodone, which is like an antidepressant.
Yep.
I don't know what injecting does for you aside.
Maybe it goes into your bloodstream quicker.
It's just such a weird way to,
Everybody's got their kicks.
Everybody's got their kicks. Yep. So after a little bit of time at Taylor's apartment, around like 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, February 22nd of 2022, those two drove back from her apartment on Eastman Avenue to 829 Stony Brook Lane, which is Shad's mom's house. At 2 o'clock in the morning, he used his distinct key to get in, which the mom's boyfriend, Steve, who lives with her, described as ringing the doorbell really fast, like 6 or 7 times. Just like ding, 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 ding. And then he would know to go let him in, that it was him. Like, this is like something he did on a regular basis because he didn't live there.
Right.
He came and he stayed a little bit, and then he went back and he came and he stayed a little bit. He would come do laundry. So, and then before we get any further, so this house is it's 2 floors on the top and then a basement. So on the very top floor is where Tara and Steve's bedroom is. There's no other bedrooms upstairs. And then on the main floor, there's 2 bedrooms and then the kitchen and the living room, which down on the main floor is where Shad's sister, Ava, sleeps. That's where her bedroom is. So she was asleep at this time, and his mom was still asleep upstairs while Steve came and let him in. And so the two immediately went downstairs. So when you go into their house, they only use one door, which is the side basement door. So when you go into, like, when you open the basement door, it's just steps. I'm sorry, not the basement door. When you open the side door, it's just steps right down to the basement. Or like, so it's this little platform landing. So you can either go down the steps or make a left and it brings you like into the kitchen area. They don't use the front door at all. They had it like blocked off with stuff in the living room. They only use the side door because it's like right next to their driveway. Anyway, kind of like what we do when one of us is home.
Or convenient.
Convenient, yeah. So immediately upon Steve opening the door, the two went downstairs. And Steve had gone back upstairs to go to bed. On Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022, around 3 a.m., Tara was startled awake from her sleep because she heard the screen door slam shut. And she knew that Shad and Taylor had been down there. So if you remember, they got there on the 22nd. So this is the 23rd. This is 24 hours later at around the same time in the morning. So on the whole day of the 22nd, like they thought the two of them were just like kind of down there hanging out, doing whatever, because it's what he did. He would come, he would sleep all day, go bring some friends sometimes, be by himself sometimes. So they didn't really think anything of it. And it's not the first time that they'd ever seen Taylor, because the two used to date in high school. So it was a normal thing. So around 3 a.m. the very next day, February 23rd, she was startled awake by the sound of her storm door slamming. So she went downstairs to see what it was, but there was no one on the first floor. And then she realized that the basement light was on. So she was like, okay, well, let me go downstairs to the basement and see what it is. And she went down and she didn't see anything. So when you go down in their basement, you walk straight down the stairs, and to the left is like a door that goes to their washer and dryer, and like a long section that's not finished where they just had like storage stuff in it. And if you go to the right, it also was storage, but there was like a mattress in the back corner, a dresser, random stuff like like sports equipment, like just random things, and then a bathroom. So it was kind of like a little, well, I wouldn't say little, but like a big bedroom down there with its own bathroom, and then like storage and laundry to the other side. So she walks downstairs and she doesn't see anybody, and she like peeks her head in, doesn't see anything, looks in the laundry room, doesn't see anything. She stepped in a little bit to check in the bathroom, but nobody was in there because the door was wide open. And so she turned around to go back upstairs. And as she's turning around to go back upstairs, she notices something very weird. So next to the steps on the bottom, it was a 5-gallon black bucket, like a painter's bucket, like a construction bucket, with a beach towel laying on top of it. She had no idea what was in this bucket, so she lifted up the towel, thinking, like, why is this laying here? So in this bucket was her son's head. So she obviously dropped the towel back down. She ran upstairs to get Steve, because she's like, what the fuck do I do? How does one even respond to that, first of all?
I wouldn't even know how.
I wouldn't know how to respond to it.
Other than yelling?
I'm not sure I would even make it back up the stairs to get you. To be honest, I would just be down there screaming. I'd probably pass out and then wake up and scream some more.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably calmly come back up and get you. But I'm just in a total different mindset than you.
Yeah. If it was any random person, I'd be like, holy shit, there's a head in a bucket.
Yeah, you come upstairs and be like,
I'd be like, there's something down there.
Yeah.
You should probably look at it. But like, if it was my own child,
yeah,
and I had lifted a towel, you'd never see me again. So there's that.
I think
nope.
We'd be the new modern Bonnie and Clyde. We'd find out who.
You'd never see me. It would not be good. I'd be in an institution somewhere.
Well, then I'd come see you.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Everybody reacts differently, right? So she was a little more calm and collected about it. She gathered her thoughts, went upstairs, got Steve, and then they made this 911 phone call, which I'm going to let you listen to.
County Public Safety, how may I help you?
Yes, I'd like an officer at 829 Stony Brook. Girlfriend just woke me up and swears that she found her severed head of her son in the basement.
Okay, can you repeat the address, sir?
829 Stony Brook.
Okay, S-T-O-N-E-Y?
Is it EY, right? Yes. No E. Just Y.
Is that a house, apartment, or duplex?
It's a house.
What's your phone number?
My number is 327-3748. My name's Steve.
327-3748?
Yes.
What's your last name, Steve?
Hendricks.
Okay, tell me what's happening there again?
I have no clue what's happening. My girl swears that she's found her severed head of her son in the basement.
Did you go down there?
In a bucket. I went down. I can't tell what the bucket. Part of my language. I'm kind of a little freaked out.
Okay, did she just wake up and say that?
Yeah.
And who was How old is your son?
24, 25?
Has he been missing, or?
No, he was here yesterday with some chick, and then now all of a sudden nobody's here. And she came up to use the restroom a couple times, and she keeps calling and calling, and now she's saying that she hears the phone down there too.
Okay. Is she with you right now?
Yes, she's up there. She's a little freaked out, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. All right. Stay on the line. And you said you went down there, correct?
Yeah, and I lifted the toe, but I can't see very well, and I can't tell what the hell it is.
So there's something in the bucket.
There's something in the goddamn bucket there.
Okay.
If she won't look again, I don't know what the hell, man.
Do you think she's hallucinating, or do you think that?
I don't think so. I went down there, something in the damn bucket. I don't know, man. She's a little freaked out and kind of freaking me out.
What's your girlfriend's last name?
Pakanek.
How do you spell that?
Oh, holy shit. You want to spell it? Pakanichich.
N-I-C-H. What's her first name?
Tara.
What's her middle initial, date of birth?
What's your middle initial? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yep.
Okay. What's her date of birth?
What's your date of birth? 5/14/74.
All right, can I talk to her?
Yes, you can.
Hello?
Hi, Tara. So can you tell me what's going on?
Are you positive my son's head is in a bucket, a round bucket in my basement?
What makes you think that?
Because I looked in the bucket,
What did you see?
exactly what I told you.
Okay, where's the rest of the body at?
No idea.
Okay. When's the last time you saw your son?
Well, I guess today is Wednesday, so I picked him up from his dad's on Monday. And because he doesn't normally stay here, he was going to stay here for a few days, got his left the laundry. He was here a couple hours, then he left with Taylor. And they had some big Taylor,
Who's that?
girl, Taylor Coronado.
You know how to spell her last name?
Coronado. No, not exactly.
Okay.
But it's the common spelling from around here.
All right. That is
He
cool.
went to middle school and high school with her.
Okay.
I don't know if he does it with me.
When's the last time you saw him?
Well, he left with her. They both came back. I believe they both came back while we were sleeping Monday night. And I assume they slept all day yesterday, so I haven't seen him since Monday night, physically. I thought they were sleeping all day. I was gone for a little while, yesterday, Tuesday, and he's 25, I'm going to basement.
All right.
What are you doing? You know what I
All
mean?
right. Well, we've got help.
And then I heard my door and her minivan start. And I went downstairs and I went to the bathroom. The lights were out in the basement. And I turned them off and I looked around and I was there. So then when I turned around to come back upstairs, there was a 5-gallon bucket with a towel over it. And I'm like, oh great, that's why they were down here all day yesterday. They were pissing in a bucket. And I looked and that is not what was in that bucket.
What is your son's name?
Shad Thyrion,
C-H-A-D.
S-H-A-D.
How do you spell his last name?
Thyrion.
What's his date of birth?
9797.
Is
Is
there blood down there?
No.
Okay. All right, ma'am. I have officers that are headed over to your house right now. Okay.
Head over.
Okay, I'll go down
Yeah.
I guess just stay away from it. Just stay.
Yes, level, so we're gonna go down to the kitchen and not to the basement.
Okay,
We can
yep.
answer the door and stuff.
Okay, all right, ma'am.
My 16-year-old daughter is sleeping.
Excuse me?
My 16-year-old daughter is here sleeping.
Okay.
They do not make a lot of noise. I don't know.
Okay, just let them know that. I'm sure they won't try, okay?
My heart can jump out of my head for being so.
And, I mean, you're sure it couldn't be like a fake head or something?
I'm not touching it. I'm not looking at it again.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Just go ahead and wait for the officers, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Good, right?
I'm more annoyed with the operator than anything.
He did his job. He remained calm like he was supposed to. That's what they're supposed to do. I've heard much worse 911 calls where the operator's just mean and nasty and
they hang up.
yeah. So, I mean, he actually did pretty good other than asking her if it was fake. Like, she's not going to go look at it again. I wouldn't either. I'm going to tell you what I saw and that's it. I'm not going to go back down and verify that my kid's head is in a bucket. Like, that's not happening. So this phone call was placed at 3:25 in the morning of February 23rd, 2022. At 3:36, the police showed up. So dispatcher was doing great. He already had the police on their way. It took them 10 minutes to get there. That is it. The police, once they arrived, they weren't really sure what to expect. Like, he gave them the rundown from the call, but like, you just never know. You know, sometimes people are mistaken by things, or sometimes it's not what they think that it is. Head in a bucket might be a little obvious, but they were hopeful that it was not what they were walking into. So Officer Wanish was the first one to go downstairs and check the basement. So we actually have body cam footage of him going downstairs to do so.
Okay. Did you both see this?
I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the fuck it is, man. I have bad vision, and she's like, is that what I think it is? I'm like, I don't fucking know what the fuck it is.
Do you want to stay with those two? I'll just go see it.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
So right there,
This
look right, there's a bucket with a towel on it.
Just keep that. Dude, it is. Let's just. Okay. Hold on, just. That's real, right? 4 Edmund 82 Sam. I know you're busy over there, but this is actually what it's going to be. It's not going to be a 961 thing or a 96 thing, so we're going to need more units here. That's real done. I forget what that, if there's anybody supposed to be there. Zeph Red 1. No for right now. Here sooner rather than later, that'd be appreciated. We've got quite a bit of blood down here. I want to clear this rest of this house. We've got 2 people in the house for sure.
So you can hear him in the video. As soon as he looks in the bucket, he confirms it with 3 little words. Just, dude, it is. That's it. That's all he could muster to get out was, dude, it is. And then he called his partner to come downstairs and like just double confirm what he had seen.
Not for nothing, but if Rizzo was a cop,
dude, it is.
exactly would be his reaction.
Yeah. So they both confirmed, and then they called for a backup because they wanted to be able to sweep the rest of the house and make sure that whoever did it is not still in the house and hiding somewhere. And since it was only 2 of them, they couldn't do that. So one had to stay up with the family and one had to go stay down with the scene to make sure that nobody touched it or anything happened. So as soon as the backup came, they escorted the family out of the house. And I don't know if you remember from the 911 call. So it was his mother, his mother's boyfriend, and his 16-year-old sister, who were all inside of this house while all of these things were happening. Just awful to think that in the 24 hours that you were all just like doing your thing upstairs, this was happening in your basement. So they escorted them out of the house. They did a sweep of the whole home and didn't find anything. They didn't find Taylor. They didn't find any other people. There was nothing, right? So the police talked to the family a little bit more and got a little more information about Taylor and like what she was driving that day and anything that they could say about her. So she had borrowed her friend's car. She didn't even have a car. She borrowed her friend's gold minivan. This is what they were looking for. They were looking for a gold minivan, and they already knew where she lived because Taylor is, she's got some stuff going on. She's not one that the police aren't familiar with. She's got a decent track record herself, so they already know her address and everything like that. They know where she is. So more police were sent to her house, and they arrived at her house at 5:13 in the morning. So this is all like happening like bam, 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 bam. Like everything is happening one after another. 5:13 in the morning, they go to her house and they arrest her. And she has blood all over her clothing and all over her hands. At this point, we don't know whose blood it is. They ask her where it came from, and she's like, I don't know, man. So, but there's also body cam footage for that. And she's just so... I just want to punch her in her face. You know, like, she's just so like, no, nobody else is up there. No, we're not armed. Like, so... I don't give a shit about anything, but at the same time, like, she's a drug addict, so she's probably high on something at this point. Like, there's no way that she's not, which also really pisses me off that you went from here to there to here to there to wherever, and you're just driving under whatever influence it is that you are under. Methamphetamine, pot, like, it doesn't matter. You are to the point where you can barely make full sentences, but you can drive a car? No. The answer is no. You shouldn't be driving anything. But that's not part of this. So they arrested her, and shortly after they arrested her and brought her back to the police station, they began to process her and ask her questions because they wanted to figure out where the rest of Shad was. So this is kind of like the account that she gave them of everything that happened while they were together in the past 24 hours. So according to Taylor, as soon as they were give me 1 second to put that right there. So, according to Taylor, as soon as they were back at the house and in the basement, Shad had brought out 2 dog collars because both of them were into erotic asphyxiation. They both had this thing where they like to choke one another, or he choked her, she choked him, whatever. So, according to her, within 5 minutes of them being in the basement, nothing else is happening, and he just brings out this dog collar. So she says. So he brought out 2 silver dog collars, one for her and one for him to use to choke each other. She had claimed that they did it all the time. But at some point during this session, he ended up on his stomach, face down on the mattress, and she was pulling the dog collar from behind. And it's like one of those collars where it has the bigger ring and the small ring that goes in it, like an actual choke collar for a dog, right? So she was just pulling the one part of the chain while he's laying on the bed. She said that he started to struggle a little bit. And so since she was on top, she had pinned his arms down with her legs and obviously put her full body weight on top of him and continued to pull the collar. She said at some point she realized that he was coughing up blood, and that just made her want to pull harder. And then she said that she realized that he was turning purple. And so she kept pulling even harder at that point until there was just blood pouring out of his mouth. And she did not stop until she realized that he was dead. And the police actually asked her how she felt during all of it. And her exact quote was, "I really liked it." So that's good. That's really good. She's a good human altogether. So after he was dead, she had continued to, as she said it, play with his body. So she took a dildo and she inserted it into his body. She put it into his butt. She put it into his mouth. She gave him oral sex. She just sat there and cuddled with him for about 3 to 4 hours. She just kept sodomizing his dead body, doing whatever she wanted with it. And then she was like, okay. And it finally set in that she killed him and he's in the basement. And she's like, well, now what? Like, how do I get this whole ass dead body out of here without his family finding out? Right. And like, if you watch the video of her interrogation, she says, I didn't want his mom to find him down there, you know? You didn't do very good at that. She didn't find all of him, but you still fucking traumatized her for life. Like, that's not something you can come back from, I don't think. Like, that, you're just, no. So, whatever. During her interrogation, she was also high as fuck. Like, if you watch her interrogation videos, like, half of what she's saying is words, and half of what she's saying is, and the detectives are just like, uh-huh. I'm like, okay, you don't know what she said. I don't know what the fuck she said. There's no way you know what she said. She was mad about her ugly clothes because they put her in one of those, like, yellow jumpers, and she's like, I don't want to be wearing this shit. It doesn't matter what you want, actually. Like, what the fuck is your problem? So after she had realized she needed to figure out how to get rid of this body, she decided she was going to dismember it. So she went upstairs to the kitchen where she grabbed 3 knives. There was 2 little, like, steak knife type knives and then a bread knife, which in her interrogation, she also said that bread knives are really good for dismembering because they're serrated.
Yeah, so like act like
it's like a little saw.
A kitchen saw.
But maybe just don't say that. So then she goes on to describe how she started doing it. So you see her and she says, well, I drug his whole body to the end of the bed, and she's like doing the movements of how she did it. So what she did was she had his feet like towards the end of the bed and his head at the top of the bed. So if you remember in the body cam video, the bed doesn't touch any of the walls. It's just like, it's like a couple feet from the wall. Like, there, you can walk around it because the cop walks around the bed while he's looking at it, right? So The bed is not touching the walls at any point. So his head is up where the head should be and his feet are down where the feet should be. So she pulled him to the top of the bed so that his head was hanging over it. And then she went and she put the bucket underneath his head and she decapitated him first. And she let the body lay there for a little bit so that the blood could drain out into the bucket. Once she realized the bucket was filling up too much, she took like a blue storage tote and stuck that underneath him instead to collect more blood. Well, she took the first bucket, and dumped it into the shower and rinsed it down the drain. So
there was no blood in the bucket.
Right.
Yeah.
So part of the confusion of the police when they first got there to begin with was, why the hell is there a head in a bucket, but there's no blood down here? Because 9 times out of 10 where you have a dismemberment, there's going to be a shit ton of blood.
Yeah.
So
did they find blood on the bed though?
So there was blood found on the mattress. They did find blood on the mattress. Not even a crazy amount of blood. Like she had a plan and it worked in her favor to not leave so much of a mess, which is just wild to me that her brain functioned well enough for her to be like, oh, gotta catch all this blood, like, I don't know. So, and then at one point in her interview, she was laughing about how after she did the last cut, his head just fell into the bucket. She's like, it just kind of like fell in, and like laughed about it. Watching her in her interviews and watching her in the court, I have never wanted to punch somebody in the face more. She's so smug and she's constantly smirking and like trying to stop herself from smiling. It's disgusting. She thinks she's so cute. She's so funny. She's so cool. She's not. She's a fucking monster. So, then after she had removed his head and like collected some of the blood, she would bring him a little bit more, and then she cut off his arms. Did the same thing. Let it drain. Then she cut his torso and his legs and his feet. She cut everything off. So with his torso, she hollowed it out completely. She took every single one of his organs out, which is not something that you normally see when people are dismembering people.
Yeah.
Like, she went an extra step to mutilate his body. On top of that, she also castrated him. She cut his penis and his testicles off. And she put them in the bucket with his head. So, like I said, once the bucket was full, she kept dumping it down the drain to get rid of all of the blood. And then the dismembered body was put into like multiple boxes and bags. Literally anything she could get her hands on in that basement that was a receptacle to hold things, she would stick parts of him in so that she could take it with her and then leave nothing, like leave no trace of him. She did say that her plan was to take all of his remains. But she got lazy. They were in a plastic tub. The plastic tub that she used to drain his blood held his torso, which she stuck his foot inside of. So she emptied out just a foot. She emptied out all of his organs and everything inside him and put his foot inside his torso and put that in the tub. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. His internal organs were inside of like grocery bags, plastic grocery bags, Walmart bags, ShopRite bags, like whatever. They were inside multiple grocery bags that were then stuck inside of an Under Armour backpack. His leg and his other foot were inside of a crock pot box. Mm-hmm. And his arms were inside of a Jimmy Choo shopping bag. So she had this whole elaborate plan to take all of these things with her and then just leave. The only thing that she managed to get out of the house was the crock pot box. So in the back of this minivan, that's not even hers, is a crock pot box with a leg in it. I would be pissed. if someone borrowed my car and left body parts in it, no. So she was charged and she was sent to Brown County Jail. And she was sent there to await trial because obviously at this point, she fully confessed to what she did. She gave them every fucking gory detail of how it went down. And she smiled the whole entire time. So it took about 6 to 7 months for the trial to actually begin. It didn't start until September 1st of 2022. At that time, she had an attorney, his name was Quinn Jolly, and he had submitted a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Yeah, I could look at her and tell you that she's fucking crazy. Like, it doesn't matter to me because she also fully knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
I liked it, and this was fun, and his head just fell in the bucket. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right there, the insanity left it. It's just...
Yeah. On February 14th of 2023, Taylor attacked her attorney. So there's video of her literally just like fucking attacking him in the courtroom because he was trying to help her by pushing the trial back a little bit more so that they could get more psychiatrists to evaluate her to back up his not guilty by reason of insanity. And she just got like pissed that he was trying to stick up for her, I guess. So like she didn't like that he was trying to push the trial out to prove her insanity. So she attacked him. Because that is exactly how you prove that you're not crazy. That you are crazy. She wants to be crazy. Because if you do insanity, then like obviously you might get a lesser thing, or you might go to like an institution somewhere for the rest of your life or something. Or if it's like Gotham, you get released back into the public after you're shocked in your brain a couple times and you're deemed fit for society again. She will never be fit for society ever again. So he stepped down. He was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Actually, thank you. You can find a different lawyer. And honestly, any lawyer, I feel bad for any lawyer who has to do anything with her. But so Christopher Froelich took over, and he was her lawyer throughout the rest of the trial. He did his best, that guy. He really did. But you know, when you have to like write a book report for school and you just like throw words in there just to make it sound like you're saying more words. Yeah. So that's pretty much how like his defense was for her. You're going to have the same result, sir. Like it's still going to come down to, yes, she killed him. Yes, she enjoyed it. Yes, she dismembered him. And yes, she Just yes. She did all of it. She's a bad human. Okay. One of the worst parts about all of this is that in January 2022, she received 2 years of probation and 3 months in jail for eluding police and bail jumping. So she was arrested prior to that, and she skipped out on her bail and ran away from the police. So the first time she was high on something. She was going around knocking on people's doors, and the people called the cops and like, there's this fucking woman who's high out of her mind and she's knocking on my door, so come get her. So when the police showed up, she's like, why do I need to talk to you? Like, she just irks me. So whatever, they arrested her. She did have drugs on her at the time, so they charged her with that. They set her bail. She got out, but she never paid it. So then there was a warrant out for her, which the police saw her. And this is why she doesn't have a car. So the second time around, the police found her, and it ended in a high-speed chase, which they ended up having to hit her car. So she spun out to finally get her to stop. So for all of this, for the first one for the drugs, and for the second one from a high-speed police chase, and them having to literally hit her car to get her pulled over, she got 2 years of probation and 3 months in jail, right? Wrong. Because that was lessened even more to house arrest. So She should have been on house arrest this whole time. But she took her ankle monitor off. So they had no idea that she was out and about and running around at 3 o'clock in the morning.
All they saw was her just home.
At her house on Eastman Avenue. I think we have to talk about Shad for a minute. So we didn't really get to say much about him. So Shad Thyrion, he was born September 7th in 1997. He loved music. He loved his family, liked spending time with his family, playing games with his family. He liked to go camping. He was a pretty good artist from what his family said about him. And he was just like a really good person. Like he would do something for another person before he did something for himself. So it's kind of sad that a person like him lost his life to a person like her.
To a crazy person on drugs.
To a crazy person on drugs. And so they dated in high school for about 2.5 years. And then they realized they weren't for each other, but they remained friends afterwards. Which they obviously remained friends with benefits.
This is why you don't stay friends after you break up.
That's why you don't stay friends. So during the trial, they had plenty of witnesses come through, and almost every single cop. They had psychologists come in, they had the forensic team come in, they had everyone. So they had everyone coming in to like testify against her. I'm getting real tired of you yawning on these podcasts. So while there was a lot of testimony against her, her father actually decided to testify on her behalf.
Good man.
Sure. Arturo Coronado is his name, and he is currently serving time in jail for the sexual assault of a 13-year-old child. So he's a really good person too.
Yeah.
He's great. He's fucking fantastic, just like her.
What do they say? Like father, like daughter.
So, and unfortunately, Taylor's mom passed away when she was 11 from cirrhosis of the liver because she was an alcoholic. So she had passed away in her sleep. So the Arturo just remembers like waking up and his wife was not breathing. So, but anyway, so Taylor's dad, Arturo, sits on the stand, and so I watched this whole trial. I watched all 7 million hours and 3 days of whatever the fuck everybody was saying. And just watching him try to defend her, it aggravated me. And I'm not sure that it should have aggravated me so much because I might try to do the same thing if Jalen ever decided to murder somebody and be like, but she's a good kid and like this and that or whatever. But you're also a shit person, Arturo, so you have no say. Yeah. So he was claiming that she had a rough life because her mom had passed away when she was 11 and like that really did something to her. And yeah, I think her dad liked to touch little girls. He didn't say anything about that. He didn't say that was part of her problem, just that like her mom had died. And then the year prior, her brother had died in a motorcycle accident. And so she just like didn't know what to do. I will say the only thing that I will agree with in her defense is that she has a very long history of mental illness, like from high school. She's been on antidepressants, antipsychotic medication. At some point, she was seeing things. She was admitted to multiple hospitals. Like, so I won't take away from her that there's definitely something wires loose in there. But she also took herself off her medication on her own accord because she didn't want to take them anymore. She didn't like the way they made her feel. And she wasn't like actively trying to get help for these problems that she had. She was just kind of like,
I'll do it myself,
masking them with methamphetamine and whatever other narcotics that she decided to do at that time. So she has this proven track record of not being like mentally stable, but I still don't think that that's enough of a reason for her to get away with murder.
Yeah.
It's just not enough for me. It really truly is not. But like her dad is like laughing just like her. He's like, well, I wouldn't say she's a bad kid. Like, both of them are the same fucking human. Like, if you watch him and you watch her, and the whole time her dad's on the stand, she's just smiling. She's just like, it's my daddy. Like, just no. And then on his way out, he's like, love you, go Bears. And she said, love you too, go Bears. Like, neither, so unserious. Just like they're passing each other in the hallway at home or something. Like, they're so unserious about the situation that they're both in, and they're just like making light of it. Like she didn't just brutally fucking murder and dismember someone. This is not a family reunion. This is a court case. You want to talk to your dad? Write him a letter. Because he's in jail.
Well, now so is she.
Now so is she. So, Taylor was actually married. She was actually married during this whole thing. She was married in 2020 to Warren Schabusiness, which I'm also so confused, right? So...
You married her cousin?
She took his last name. Her last name is Coronado, like her dad.
Cut that. Because I'm confused.
So she had married a Warren Schabusiness, which confused the fuck out of me, because looking up Warren Schabusiness, his last name is actually Chabot. Yeah, make it make sense. So somehow they had, his legal last name is Chabot, but they go by Schabusiness. And like all of her paperwork is Schabusiness. I have no clue. I don't know. Don't ask me. It doesn't make any sense to me, but you're either Chabot or Schabusiness. I don't know. Fucking shiitake mushrooms. I don't care. So they were married, and he's also a very lovely person. So her husband, Warren, was arrested in 2020, a couple months after they were married, because they were married in February 2020, I think. So in November of 2020, he was arrested with 46 grams of meth in his possession. So he's in jail. He's still in jail currently.
Yeah.
So they had this thing while he was in jail that she could like go do whatever she wanted with other people, which is how she ended up with Shad. Like, he didn't care that she saw other people while he was in jail. Like, that's his wife, whatever. Like, they had this weird fucking relationship. Whatever. I'm not judging you. People are people. People do different things. Your relationship, not mine. So, her dad's in jail because he's a child fondler. Her husband's in jail because he drives around with, like, shit tons of drugs. And she's now in jail because she likes to murder people. All in all, they're really good. It's a really good selection of people we have here.
Makes for a great family reunion.
Yes. And so her husband, he is actually getting out this July 2024. So in a few months he's getting out, and he has access to like social media and stuff while he's in jail. And like he writes letters and whatever, and he has made it known that his whole goal in life when he gets out is to defend his wife, because she's not a murderer. She didn't do that.
Even though she already made the claim that she did.
Yeah. He's going off of she's mentally unstable, she needs help. So
she didn't do it. Who did?
Her alter ego, I don't know. And the even worse part of all of this is they have a kid together. They have a kid together who is living with his parents, with the paternal grandparents. The lawyer had tried to get rid of the sexual assault charge that was against her. His claim was that his defense was that a dead person can't be sexually assaulted, so it shouldn't count. Okay. no. I don't care. You just, no. You assaulted his dead body. I don't care if he was dead or if he was alive when you did it. It doesn't matter to me.
Necrophilia, right?
And you laughed about it. You laughed about it like it was like a fun thing that you did. Like in her actual like interview, she's laughing as she says that she used a dildo and stuck it in his ass. Like, yeah, I did that. It's not funny. Like, he's already dead. But like, he's already dead. You don't need to do anything else to him. There's no reason other than for your
own pleasure.
Sick pleasure. That's it. Like, there's nothing more that you should be doing. No, I need it. It's my emotional support highlighter.
You're driving me crazy.
Drive me crazy. Ooh, ooh. You're welcome. So she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole because the judge felt that he truly needed to protect the public from her. And I'm 100% on this judge's side. And if you actually like watch the court case, because they live streamed her whole entire court case, but if you actually watch the court case, like the judge is so patient and so like he lets everyone take their time to explain, like, because I've seen some court cases where the judge is just like rushing and he just wants to get through it because she already admitted to everything, like whatever, but he really wants like every little bit to be out there for the jury to try and process it. And like he really like truly wants it to be a fair trial. So hands down for this judge, because he was just so patient and so kind. And like, I feel like most judges should be like him. I think that they should be like him because he was a good guy. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. At one point during her investigation, she had told the police, this just also shows you how I want to say high, but maybe also out of her mind that she was. She told the police that his body parts kept growing back.
You're a fucking starfish?
I'm not sure. She said that she cut off his arm and then she went to do something and she came back and it was back. And so she had to cut it off again. Yeah. She said that.
Okay.
Those were her words. And she giggled the whole time. She's like, yeah, I cut it off and then I had to cut it off again.
That's good drugs, though. I'm just putting that out there. Just putting it out there.
That's the horrible case. The horrible end of Shad Thyrian's life. He did not deserve that. He was only 24 years old. And she's 25 years old now at this point, and she's going to spend the rest of her life in prison. And I really hope that her husband doesn't make any leeway to get her out of there, honestly.
You know it's going to happen, but yeah.
I don't know, but like there's so much publicity on this at this point that I feel like if it were to try to go like further, they would have tried already. I'm not really sure how much more power her husband has over anything. He's in jail. He can't do anything right now anyway. But I'm not really sure like how much his opinion is going to affect anything.
Not at all.
No. But I think one of like the saddest parts of the trial was his dad, Michael Thyrion. He stood up and he told her that he forgave her and that everyone has their things and like he doesn't wish anything bad upon her. He just wishes that she like figures her life out. And that takes a lot. How do you feel about that one?
Well, I'm not too sure. Out of the other ones, I feel like that is the most gruesome. But I still don't think I know.
You feel like that's more gruesome than the man who cut up 16 people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. It is
because
gruesome.
I'm used to hearing, seeing, listening to all these people get killed and dismembered. It's just the way she did it. I think that plays the effect on it.
It was meticulous.
Yeah, like
She really-
she knew what she was doing. All these other people are just hacking away. But yeah, it's just the way she did it.
She put his foot in his chest cavity.
Yeah, it still makes no sense. But
And then you hear her in the in her thing, and she's like, "Ah, his head. I forgot the head."
you forgot a lot of parts.
You forgot everything else. Like, you literally have a leg and a foot. There's nothing else.
My thing is
you
she
forgot
just-
about 80% of him.
My thing is she just took the crock pot, and I can guarantee you...
Crockpot box.
Sorry, box. She probably thought it was a crock pot. I mean, after being on drugs.
I don't know.
Gotta be
But you can
hungry.
see in the body cam footage of them approaching the van, you see the crockpot box in the back window. And the cops like look into the window, but you can't see inside of the box. They're like, "Oh, no, there's nothing in here." Wrong. It's in there, actually. It's in there. There's a foot and a leg. It's waiting for you.
Just one step ahead.
That is all for today. I hope I didn't gross you out too much. I don't care if I grossed you out too much. So I don't know what we're gonna do next week. I haven't really decided yet. I got a couple options, but we went back to the United States this time. We got a girl this time because you wanted a female, and
Just to show the females are crazy.
females are very much crazy. There's plenty of them. This one was actually like relatively recent.
Yeah.
Relatively recent, just within the past couple years. Which just makes it even worse. It's just there's still people out there like that are just continuing to do these awful, horrid things to people. Like, it's one thing when you read a case and it's like 1972. Like, okay, fine. 2022. It's a little too close to.
2025, we'll see you.
No, thank you. I don't remember how I end these things. What do we say? That's not it.
Toodles.
I'm keeping that.
Oh,
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in this week. I am your host, Katie,
and I'm your host, Tim.
and we are so happy that you came. No, that was so stupid. I'm gonna
So happy
redo
we
that.
came.
Glad you came. Who sang that? What was those? They were those boys, those Australian boys. Make you glad you came. Katie Harris was obsessed with them when they came out. Because they were all cute.
I know what you're talking about. But
They were like Australian or something. They
Oh,
had
nice.
accents.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean they're Australian.
No, I'm pretty sure they were like Australian or something.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember their name.
You don't know what I'm talking about because you don't know their name.
I can't pull up my phone.
You can't. You want to use that bet?
No.
Okay. All right. That is all for today.
Love
I
beef
am.
and chicken grease.
Stop.
It's on video. Yo, Rolf just ran across my legs. I just heard him over there, and now he's
Scary.
down my legs.
Where is he?
But coming over here.
Roby,
No, he's right here.
come say goodbye. Help me end the video. Roby?
He's over here.
All right. Hold on. Come here.
As you show off his butthole.
Okay, guys, that's it for today. Provolone says goodbye. And we will see you next week. So like, follow, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to come listen to our podcast.
Can you say goodbye?
Bye-bye.